discussion?
Question, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Sherman, could you explain to us how your Spring Hill location works? I have heard that it's 21 and up, and I've heard that it's family-oriented, so which one exactly is it?
It's actually 21 and up, and the only reason it's 21 up over there is because I had to make a decision back in 2007 to go smoking or non-smoking. Being that I chose to go smoking, it's 21 and up. There's no, down there you can't have a choice of doing 21 and up at this point or at this point in time.
Right.
If you smoke, it's got to be 21 and up all the time.
On
So-
this facility that you're wanting to open here in our city, which way are you wanting to open it?
We are going to open up here. It's going to be a non-smoking, so it'll be family-friendly.
Okay.
Okay. After 9 o'clock, we are going to go 21 up at 9 o'clock, but it'll always be non-smoking.
Okay.
With the understanding, Larry, if I'm doing this wrong, you tell me that we, in order for this after being completed, that we get that information that we asked for as far as the
Yeah.
disposition.
As long as I can get it, I don't have a problem with that.
It'd just be your certified copy of the order of dismissal. Like he's talking about, it's an expungement order, requires a formal court hearing, and it is rather expensive.
I understand. I've been dealing with about 18
I will
years.
say that's what I tried to get before I even got here.
And it is difficult to get.
But the girl at the courthouse, not the courthouse, but at the, I guess the jail over there.
Yeah.
They said there's nothing like that available. There's only an expungement. And that's when she told me it
There's
would
a
take.
copy of the court record somewhere.
Okay.
That tells you that. We can get that for
You
you.
It'd be in the
probably already
court.
have one and don't know it.
Pardon me?
You probably already have one and don't know it. You were issued it then.
But,
They didn't give me nothing.
It'd be in the criminal court division of the Williamson County Circuit Court Clerk's office.
His attorney probably has it.
So, with that amendment to it, you have no objection to that?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We'll work on that tomorrow and take care of it and get your permit to you as soon as it's ready.
Not a problem.
Thanks, sir.
When do you plan on opening?
I guess it depends on when I get this piece of paper.
Thank you again for coming in.
We're trying for a soft opening on the 10th and then an official opening on the 17th.
Okay, thanks, sir.
I think the only thing we had for tonight is to approve the minutes. So,
Motion for approval.
second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Any other discussion? Motion for adjournment?
Motion for adjournment.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Good evening. Happy New Year. I'd like to call to order the Board of Commissioners meeting, January 2nd, 2014. The first order of business is a prayer and the pledge. Those who would, please stand and join us. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for 2014, that we have the opportunity to serve you and serve others. Thank you for the blessings that you've bestowed on each one of us, our families, and our community. We ask you to lead, guide, and direct us as we move forward. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Next item is the approval of the agenda. Commissioners, I'd like to defer 7A due to no apps received at the city. And in that deferment, I will speak to the public. The Finance Review Committee is seeking applicants for citizens that would like to serve on that committee. If you have an interest, please see City Manager Mr. Hall or Recorder Ms. Johnson and share with them your interest, and/or there's a informational to fill out. We are looking for a person with finance background for the Finance Review Committee. That item of deferment, is there any other changes, deletions, or additions this evening?
Mayor, if I could just add to that, we're going to defer that to the 16th. Okay. And Mr. Ficken, who we had already talked about, did not withdraw. I take responsibility for not getting him to submit his application and be here tonight. I kind of thought that the conversation we had was we had already put him on there and we wouldn't need to go through that process. So I will be in touch with him and get his application and have him here at the next meeting if he possibly can.
Okay. Any other additions or deletions? Make a motion for approval.
Moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item is citizens' comments.
Mayor, there are no citizens' comments tonight. Thank you.
Item number 4 is awards and recognitions. Would there be any awards or recognitions from the staff this evening?
Mayor, I have a couple of recognitions. I'd like to approach the podium and bring a couple of people up.
Okay.
Thank you. Come forward. We've been looking at grants. Tonight is going to be a grant night, I believe. And I'd like to recognize Captain Sutton in what he's helped be responsible for through the years he's been with the force. He's actually been responsible for $185,825.22 of grants and an additional $1,500 today from Walmart to help buy radios for the auxiliary. Would y'all care for me to get y'all a copy of this, or would you like me to read them all out?
Just a copy, I think.
Just a copy of it. I'll get a
We don't
copy
want
to you
Mark to.
tomorrow. All right. Anyway, Captain Sutton, he's done a great job for us.
Great job. Thank you.
And also, another $1,500 grant today from Walmart to our fire department. And so they actually upped their ante, it looks like, because they said originally $2,500, so we ended up getting $3,000. So, and from what I gather, they've been talking to the park also, seeing what they can do there. So I got a feeling Walmart's going to be a big plus for this town.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Great.
Thank you very much. Any other awards or recognitions this evening? Item number 5 is public announcements.
Other than the admissions that we go through each meeting, it's Monday and Tuesday, 7:30 to noon each week. So I pass out there from time to time when I see that, and it's still a big plus for our town.
Very convenient, yes, sir. I'll also mention Chamber of Commerce is not present, but we do want to help fanfare their breakfast. It is Tuesday, January 21st. Their guest speaker will be the Congressman Marsha Blackburn, and that is, I don't have the place and time, but you can contact the Chamber, 799-9290.
Hickory Home Barbecue, 7:30.
Okay, 7:30 on the 21st, and that is the business breakfast of the community that the Chamber of Commerce hosts. Any other public announcements? Item 6 is the approval of the minutes. The approval of the revised minutes from the November 21st, 2013 Board of Commission meeting. What are the wishes of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a first and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 6B is the approval of the minutes from the December 17th special called Board of Commission meeting. What are the wishes of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
First and second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Old business A was deferred. New business A. Williamson County Health Department funds request from the state. I was contacted by Miss Kathy Montgomery, which is the Williamson County Department. She's not the regional, but she has expressed to me and given us an informational that when we awarded funds a couple years ago, she didn't have the exact year, but when we awarded funds to the Williamson County Health Department, they did not spend all of the money. She was aware of this from the regional director, Miss Annette Haley, that said there is money sitting, what would you be requesting of it? So in her chain, she asked that we as the commissioners would decide if that money would be returned to Fairview and kept, if that money would allow them to get the rest of the money, and their intent would be to upgrade the waiting area of the Fairview location of the Williamson County Health Department. Is there questions or comments?
I'll make a motion that we approve them to keep the money for the upgrades as long as it goes strictly to our health department here.
Motion? Second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I will. City Attorney, may I ask you, in this letter that she's drafted, I'll ask her to rewrite that. Is that permissible to be put on letterhead and then sent to the regional director? Is that the next step?
Yes, that the board approved it at the meeting, and put it on letterhead and tell them, that the board approved they're keeping the money to be used for the following purpose.
Okay, so Ms. Johnson, what I'll ask is her to rewrite the letter and send it to you and I, and then for you to have letterhead, and then we'll have a signature and move that along. Is that good? All in favor?
Aye.
Any vote? Anybody opposed? Okay, thank you. Next item is 8B, discuss and/or take action on outsourcing the UVerse. Mr. Day?
Good evening and Happy New Year's.
Thank you.
Good news with UVerse, we will be getting it. It's not going to cost us a dime.
Okay.
The UVerse, it's not going to cost us anything. And it will cover all of Middle Tennessee. So if you live in Middle Tennessee, you'll be able to get, or to be able to watch us. And there's even counties in Kentucky, Christian County, Todd, Logan, they'll be able to watch us. And what else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. The turnaround's going to be about 2.5 months. Getting them out here and actually getting an engineer to look at it.
So is that going to be something that people that have AT&T and they'll be able to get in touch with it?
UVerse, yes.
Okay.
Is that live streaming?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
It'll be pretty much a second handoff of what we have right now going out to Comcast,
So in addition,
great.
in addition to
Yes.
Comcast. But it
Channel
will,
19 duplicated on the AT&T system.
it'll reach out further than,
that'll be good.
I believe, we're only broadcasting to Fairview right now.
So if you don't have Comcast, this is an additional way to watch.
Yes, and
The
if you live
media.
outside the county and want to watch us, I
Okay.
would recommend UVerse.
We discussed it several months ago.
And there's no cost.
Nate went to get it.
No cost to the city. The only cost that we will be accruing is getting a DA, a distribution amplifier for our system that we have now. So we have to split the one that we have going from Comcast. And then they was talking about putting in fiber optic, but we already have a Metro E running the building, so that's not going to be a problem. So I believe the engineers are just going to come out here, walk through and say, you're good to go. And then they're going to actually bring their installers out here and install it.
I knew you could do it, Nick.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I would just like to know 100% no cost before you
Yes,
know?
I met with.
Like, as far as equipment, and, I mean, I know ideally they've said that, but,
Paul Stinson came down from Nashville. He's actually the one that's, he is the external and legislative affairs, and he said it's no cost.
Other discussion?
I'm excited about it, we talk about transparency all the time, and to give everybody an opportunity to be able to look at it I'm glad we were able to get it done. Thank you.
so as far as, go back to the equipment, so none of you said there was gonna be something, the only thing,
On our side, it's going to be getting them the audio and video connections. So we supply them the cables, the feed, and then they bring their equipment in. It's still going to be owned and maintained by AT&T. It's not going to be our equipment, and they just maintain it.
okay.
Other discussion?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
excuse me, I'd like to let the record be straight. This was at Commissioner Sutton's request, and I forgot to put it on the agenda that way, so I apologize to Commissioner Sutton, but Nick's done a fine job on this, so
Excellent.
thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, sir. City manager, items for discussion.
Thank you, Mayor. An update on the thinning of the forest. I've talked to our city arborist, Mike Berkeley, and I've got him scheduled for the second meeting in January to come and speak to the board regarding the thinning of the 3.2 acres. And the other thing that I'd like to let y'all have a copy of it is an email from Will yesterday, or maybe it was Tuesday. Got about the holiday. But it was good news regarding the resurfacing project on Cumberland and Cox Pike, which the grant totals approximately $486,000. And I will read that into the record if you'd like me to. Mr. Hall, Sharon wanted me to follow up on the resurfacing project, and today I received the hello email from Ms. Whitney Sullivan, who is the manager of TDOT's local programs division that oversees the resurfacing project. While TDOT sometimes changes their mind on things, it appears that the funding for the resurfacing project, Cumberland and Cox Pike, is safe for now. Great news for sure. This was Ms. Sullivan's email to Will the same day. As soon as we get the proper approval from design and construction, we will request construction funding authorization. We all know this is a rush project, and we are doing everything in our means to get this through the system. Don't stress about losing your funds due to it being the end of the year. I have pulled some strings, and we are going to work with you in order to get this project lit in early 2014. You guys have been working much too hard to get this ground pulled out from under you at the 11th hour. Let's all try our hardest to get this project fully obligated by the end of January. I will try to hold off the feds that long. So, Will seems to think we're 98% there. So I just wanted to report to y'all on that, and this will be a big help to our city to get this funded.
Okay.
That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other staff comments?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. Police Department, the month of December, our calls went down just a tight bit. Answered 532 calls for service. The problem we've seen was had an increase in accidents. We actually had about 15 personal injury accidents and 23 non-injury accidents for the month, which is quite a bit higher than we're used to. So we'd like to ask everybody just to kind of slow down, take your time, pay more attention to what you're doing, and wear your seatbelts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Month of December, we ran 79 calls. For the year, we ran 714. If you recall, the 30% figure was the county number of percentage that we ran out in the county, and this ends now our first year without the county contract. that 714 represents a 30% reduction in the number of calls. So it was pretty consistent across the line. Of course, along with that goes less fuel, less wear and tear. I want to talk a little bit about safety. We got a storm coming. Probably going to have 3 days where it doesn't go above freezing. I'm concerned not only about the older houses, but these newer houses that are built tighter than drums. If you have gas, do not use those as heat. Now, I'm not talking about your AC. I'm talking about your gas stoves or your unvented gas fireplaces. Those are not designed to heat the house. And we do have calls where my mama won't wake up, she's sleeping on the couch, and we go in there and she's blue. And sure enough, she's got that 4-burner stove and the oven cooking. It's not designed to heat your house, and it will kill you. Carbon monoxide is odorless and colorless, and there are dozens and dozens of deaths every year across where people are not correctly heating their houses. So let's be careful, not only next week, but in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chief, if I can ask you a question on the support calls, if we cut back on that when it's just a standard ambulance call, sending the other units with them?
We started at the first of the year, last year, cutting back manually, and then they went to a computerized dispatch where the computer now decides, and more qualified than the dispatcher is over what type of calls and who should go. And that's called an MDC, medical dispatch computer, something like that. So it picked back up a little bit, but not as much as it used to be in the past where we just simply ran every one. So yeah, once in a while you'll see that ambulance out there by itself. But we run where we think we may be needed, not we don't wait until we know we're needed. Somebody comes in, difficulty breathing, seizures, heart attacks, chest pains, anything else like that, the firemen are going. Yeah, and they may be there just a couple minutes, but we're gonna err on the safe side.
Well, definitely we wanted to do that above all, but, I know for a while we were running an extraordinary amount of calls with the big engines and everything else going on these calls and tying them up for periods of time where they could be going somewhere else and the cost of gas and everything else. But definitely whenever they're needed, we want them to go out.
Sure, and
Just want
again,
to follow up on that.
the computer making the decision, which is set up by the doctor now. The computer doesn't make decisions on its own. The protocols are set up by the doctor. Much more qualified than the dispatcher.
I always like the part about the first responder there to make the call, but that's somebody else's choice smarter than I am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, when does the Quinn get here?
It's slated for the 31st. However, right now it's 18 below zero in South Dakota, and they're having trouble with the storms, getting parts in and things like that. And I don't know if anybody wants to go up there when it's 18 below zero and pick up a truck. So we're shooting for the 31st.
Okay, but sometime in the near future.
Oh yeah, no, it was originally due between the 15th and the 31st, but these storms are everybody's backlogged on parts.
Thank you. Other staff comments this evening?
I forgot one thing. Actually, two, if you'd like. I can give you an update on Walmart CO. But out on the parking lot, we have our salt spreader, the new one, hooked up and ready to go. It was ready to go this morning, so this bad weather didn't hit, thank goodness, today, but maybe next week we'll probably have that in full service. As far as the Walmart CO, Will has been out and done the site inspection. John was scheduled tomorrow at 11 o'clock to go do through his preliminary final. The road is TDOT and Walmart, doesn't have a thing to do with Fairview, except we want a safety letter from TDOT. I don't know whether have y'all heard about John's dad today?
Did he pay? No.
He passed?
Did-
I knew it was very grave. Sorry
Our
to hear
sympathies
that.
go out to him and his family.
So anyway, I didn't know whether to mention it publicly or what, but anyway, John may come in and do that, but he may have to delay it, so. But they're going to call for the final on Monday. So we've done our preliminary work, and it's just, as far as the site work, it was only two minor things for that. So we've been able to handle it that way. So,
Thank you.
so as far as the city's concerned, we're in good shape for the final CO.
May I request also that the city be sending something on his behalf of condolences?
Thank you.
All right, city attorney comments.
I have nothing further this time. Thank you.
Okay. Communications from the commissioners. Commissioner Sutton?
I have nothing tonight other than wish everybody a happy new year. I'm excited about Walmart and new businesses coming into town, and it's just an exciting time for this city. That's all I have.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Johnson? Nothing, Mayor. Commissioner Bissell?
Just a couple of things. City Attorney, Larry, do we have any update on the firing range negotiation that we were doing with WADC? Have they sent us anything, or where are we with that?
No, sir, I haven't seen anything. The last thing that I heard was when Mr. Hall said that they were gonna get the document together, and then I assume they're gonna send it back to him.
Okay. All right. I was just curious about that. And then, the mayor and I have been discussing, I guess, a little ex parte conversation about the next phase of the streetlights. And so, I'd like to put that on the agenda for, February the 6th, if we could. Ms. Johnson. That I'll have a package ready for us to talk about the next phase of streetlights.
Commissioner Carroll?
Just Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for the people that came out tonight, and I like to see new faces and enjoy meeting y'all, and that's all I have.
Thank you. The only thing this evening is I will highlight that this is a 5-Thursday month, so we will be having a town hall. You have that handy?
30th.
On the 30th. Let's see, I'm in January. On the 30th at 7 p.m., just so if you want to mark your calendar as an additional meeting this month. And that's all. Do I call it before I close or after I close?
Pardon me?
The request for the executive.
Yeah, you need to announce that now. If it'll take about 10 minutes.
I've been requested by the city attorney for an executive session to be called on the subject of Givens versus Fairview, and we'll take a few moments to do that. At this point, I'd like a motion for adjournment of the Board of Commission meeting. All those in favor? Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your attention.